we are, it's February 22nd, and we're well into the blooming season for lychee. These are Mauritius lychee trees, and you can see if you look at the bloom that's emerged that most of the flowers here that remain are female flowers. We can still see some male flowers, which are evidenced by the stamen, pollen, which is the pollen-bearing component of the flower. These female flowers, the stigmatic surface, the pistillate surface, hasn't really emerged yet, but when that does, then we would expect to see fruit set. When that happens, the ovary, that component of the fruit, which actually becomes the part you eat, will begin to swell, and this will give you some idea of the fruit set. But as you can see, this tree has quite an extensive bloom, and this is true throughout most of the grove, so I expect this season is going to be fairly good crop-wise. Normally, lychee trees bloom from either early January up through the middle of February, although in past years we've had blooms as late as March. But this is a pretty normal season. Now, by the third week in February, we're starting to get spring-like conditions in Florida. You can see how gorgeous the weather is here. There's obviously a lot of weevil damage on the tree from the Sri Lankan weevil, but this is really superficial and doesn't affect the fruit. Typically what happens is you'll have one or two trees in the grove where most of these weevils concentrate, and as they mature, the larvae fall into the ground, or the eggs fall in the ground where they emerge as larvae, but from our experience, it doesn't really do that much damage to the roots. So what we expect to see, typically what happens first are the male flowers open on lychee, followed by the female flowers, followed by the male hermaphrodite, or female hermaphrodite and male hermaphrodite flowers, which shed viable pollen. A good practice in a grove is to alternate your Mauritius trees with Brewster trees. Brewsters, typically the flowers open slightly later than the Mauritius, so you have Brewster male flowers opening, shedding pollen as these female flowers are receptive, so this tends to give you a much better crop. So anyway, looks like barring a late season freeze or any other type of calamity, I would expect the lychee crop is going to be very good this year. From what we're hearing down in Homestead, it looks like the crop is going to be an excellent one. So we should have all the different varieties of fruit. This would be Mauritius fruit, Brewster fruit, the Sweetheart, which of course is very popular, the Emperor, and then later in the season the Caimana fruit. So keep your fingers crossed.